Why must people go to my show at the Hollywood Fringe Festival? I think because it is a piece that explores what it means to be a woman and what it means to feel like you want to be seen, but you don't really want to be seen, and how to share of yourself in a world that told us for so many years that we need to hide inside. I think it's just like very resonant right now because it's so much about connection and loneliness and technology and the expectations around how we're supposed to show up in the world. Hi, I'm Alex Kern, and I'm the actor and playwright of the solo show. Thank you so much for coming. That will be having its world premiere at the Hollywood Fringe Festival in June. And please take a look at the following video to learn more. The ideas for my show, thank you so much for coming, came from many places. I'm like, how deep do I need to go here for this question? I really wanted to do a solo show and had been wanting to do it for many, many years. And before everything shut down during COVID, I started going to a bunch of solo shows. And I went to a bunch of solo shows at the Lyric Hyperion, which is a small theater on the east side of Los Angeles. And just to like see what inspired me, see what was going on, see what excited me. And I saw this one show called Nate by Natalie Palamides, and I was completely blown away. Had never seen anything like it in my life. Saw it 3 times, talked to everyone like, what was that? And friends were like, oh, that's clown in character. And I thought to myself, okay, that's what I want to do. So when the world opened back up, I didn't want to return to the stand-up world. I had done a bunch of stand-up and sketch and storytelling. I was like, what is this clown thing? And so I started taking a bunch of workshops, which then led me to meet my director. And then I started developing pieces with her, and then kept working on it. And then it became, an hour. And the inspiration came from a character, 2 pieces, I guess. A character that I had found when I did the Groundlings. This was, I guess, an advanced Groundlings. I found this character named Cynthia, and she was this undersexed florist who was not good at her job, but was just so desperate for love and attention. And I just I thought she was really fun to play. And Natasha was like, well, what characters are you drawn to if you want to do a character clown show? And I was like, sad, desperate women. So this was a woman that I was like, oh, she's going to be the central person in here. And then I thought that it would bring even more characters in it, like other characters that I've done. And it does I do incorporate different voices that I do, but it's really a show about this one character. And then I grew up in an environment that was very much all about entertaining. Like that's how my parents showed their love to their friends and their family, was hosting them and cooking for them. And so that was very much to me a second language in my life. Like, what can I get you? Welcome to my home. And then I worked in the service industry for many years. And so I determined that would be like a really interesting vessel to have Cynthia become this party host, and then she's hosting this party and everyone in the audience are her guests. And to me, it was this idea of this woman who has been catering to all these people for so many years, making other people feel welcome and loved and seen. And then the idea of, well, when the party ends, what happens to this woman and the performance that she's been putting on this whole time. So it's kind of very much like a distillation of, it's definitely a distillation of loneliness. And this idea of a woman who is performing all the time for all these other people. It's this dance, this performance of hosting, and what happens when the party ends, and what happens when people start canceling, which is what happens during the show. And we slowly see her devolve. And to me, because there's a clown element to it, it's kind of like pulling out the absurdity of it, and very much resonant right now because it's so much about connection and how do we connect now in this pandemic, almost post-pandemic, I don't even know how we're supposed to call it, world of connecting. How do we do it now? What is our comfortability around it and how much that's changed? And also just this element of technology, how much is connection tethered to that? Thank you so much for coming is about a woman, Cynthia, and she is the ultimate party host. And she's inviting everyone into her home for the first time in years to throw an amazing party. And there's dancing and there's hats and there's humor. And then the phone starts ringing and people start canceling. And we see her respond to the canceling and eventually devolve as the canceling continues to happen, and we kind of see who this woman is underneath all these layers, these performative layers of party host. Thank you so much for coming is a clown show, and there are many different ways to describe clown, but I guess my understanding, or at least my experience of it within this show, is very much the audience is part of the show. So it's immersive. It's an immersive experience. So as the performer, I'm breaking the fourth wall. And clown to me is what is the performer experiencing and then sharing that with the audience. The performer in clown cannot, or the human, I guess, in clown cannot hide. And to me, it's very much a celebration of sitting in like failure and sharing it publicly. And so regardless of how the performer is feeling, sharing that with the audience and then responding off of how they are responding to you. In this play, there is a phone call element, a phone ring that comes in several times. And as I was developing this, I realized how haunting a phone call can be and how it has a different meaning for everyone on the receiving end of it. And we see that in the performance, the character kind of playing with this idea of, should I answer it? Should I not answer it? Who's on the other end of the call? And hopefully that creates a sense of tension in the audience, because everyone has their own relationship with the phone call. Everyone has someone that they don't want to get the phone call from. Everyone has a phone call that they don't want to receive. And it's been, as I've gotten older, it's just interesting to me how the relationship of that phone ring, of that phone call, has changed so much. What do I want the audience to get out of my play? I hope that they feel like they see themselves in what they're watching, or they see someone that they care about in what they're watching. I hope this resonates with the audience, and I hope they laugh. And I hope they cry too. I want both. What am I looking for when I'm performing live at the Hollywood Fringe Festival? I want to stay present. I want to stay connected to myself and therefore available to the audience. I just want to stay in the process and see what I'm able to discover up there for the first time. Like, I'm excited for the surprises that come, and I want to be so connected that I'm available to the surprises. I don't want to be looking for the next moment. And I think that's what clown really encourages, is like, let's sit in this moment. Let's take our time. Let's be silent. Let's play with sound. Let's play with silence. And let's see how we can surprise ourselves and the people who are watching the performance. Why must people go to my show at the Hollywood Fringe Festival? I think because it is a piece that explores what it means to be a woman and what it means to feel like you want to be seen, but you don't really want to be seen, and how to how to share of yourself in a world that told us for so many years that we need to hide inside. I think it's just like very resonant right now because it's so much about connection and loneliness and technology and the expectations around how we're supposed to show up in the world. I think it's important for anyone, especially those who are nearby in Southern California, to experience Hollywood Fringe, because it's experiencing like a cacophony, an explosion of theater artists like pouring their hearts out in like hundreds of productions. Why wouldn't you want to see that? Why wouldn't you see the varied voices and minds that are happening all around us? Like we've been struggling to connect for the past 3 years. This is the perfect opportunity to connect and like to connect with other people, to connect with yourself, to think differently, to surprise yourself, to be surprised. I mean, that's to me what theater is all about, is exploring all the facets of what it means to be a human. Why should the community show up for Hollywood Fringe Festival? Because art is the heartbeat. It's imperative. It's imperative for everyone to go experience live independent theater. To me, it's imperative that we support artists. I mean, we're struggling with AI problems right now. I mean, that is the heartbeat of the community, and we have to celebrate and we have to honor it and we have to nurture our artists. In order to support me as an artist, please come to my show. Hello, I'm Alex Kern. I'm the actor and playwright of the solo show. Thank you so much for coming. Please come to my show. It is at the Hollywood Fringe Festival for 5 dates, the June 3rd, 10th, 11th, 20th, and 23rd. And it's about this woman named Cynthia, and she's hosting this amazing party, and she just wants you to come, okay? She's just the ultimate host, okay? You've got to come. Don't forget to come, okay? Please. She's going to get so upset if you don't come. So yeah, please come to my show.